3 days later, Lincoln came here to Ford's Theatre to see a show, and Booth made good on his promise. He got into the theatre and he shot the president at close range in the head, shouting, "Thus to all tyrants." Lincoln's bleeding body was carried out of the theatre and across the road and to that house over there. He lingered on for 24 hours and then he died, instantly becoming a martyr to the cause of emancipation and the Union. Unionists descended into mourning. Millions lined the streets as his funeral train travelled 1,700 miles across the country, finally reaching his burial place in Springfield, Illinois. Almost as soon as he was dead, images like this one began to appear in the press. In memory of Abraham Lincoln, the reward of the just. And he's been carried off up to heaven by an angel. It's almost as if he's become a religious figure. And, like Christ himself, he died at Easter. The fatal shot was fired on Good Friday. Soon after Lincoln's death, Charlotte Scott, a former slave from Virginia, gave $5 from her pay packet to begin fundraising for a statue of Lincoln. In April 1876, this photograph of Charlotte was sold to visitors at the grand unveiling of the Emancipation Memorial in Washington. The main speaker at the ceremony was another former slave, now a politician and reformer, Frederick Douglass, and he began a reassessment of Lincoln's memory.
Frederick Douglass was at the time arguably the most important black man in the country, and he didn't disappoint. He very quickly launches into almost a tirade about Lincoln's shortcomings. He talks about the fact that Lincoln was preeminently the white man's president, that even though he had helped to free enslaved people, Lincoln always did what was in the best interest of his race. But this man was president when we got our freedom. And this is what he did to help us get our freedom. So he's balancing it.
Was there any criticism of the design itself?
Yeah, there was tremendous criticism of the design, and rightly so. You've got Lincoln towering over this crouching black figure, a man who's halfway on his knees. He looks like he may be rising, but he's still almost kneeling, almost to Lincoln, as if Lincoln is a god. His chains are being broken, but still he's not quite free. And it looks like Lincoln is beckoning him to rise.
Do you think people were surprised at the time to hear words of criticism being spoken at all?
Lincoln was an anti-slavery man, but he was no abolitionist before the Civil War. He's someone who believed that slavery was a legitimate institution, a constitutionally protected institution. And because of that, the federal government could not touch that institution where it already existed. He believed that if you contain it, it would die a natural death. It might take 200 years, mind you, but it would eventually die out.
Did Lincoln believe in racial equality?
It depends upon what time in his life we're talking about. In 1858, he was engaged in a series of debates, and Lincoln was in an environment where he had to show the local people that he was just as anti-black as they were.
To get their votes.
To get their votes, absolutely. And so this is what he says to them. I will say then that I am not, nor ever have been, in favor of bringing about in any way the social and political equality of the white and black races. And I, as much as any other man, is in favor of having the superior position assigned to the white race.
Whoa.
And so in 1858, Lincoln is decidedly not for racial equality, not in this statement, but not in reality either.